Topic of this rant is going to be Indigo Children and Crystal Children. It was suggested by my MySpace friend Angie Fire is Divine, so thank you, Angie. I don't know a ton about Indigo and Crystal Children. I am an Indigo child myself, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an extract from an article by Doreen Virtue entitled Indigo and Crystal Children. The first thing most people notice about crystal children is their eyes, large, penetrating, and wise beyond their years. Their eyes lock on and hypnotize you, while you realize your soul is being laid bare for the child to see. Perhaps you've noticed this special new breed of children rapidly populating our planet. They are happy, delightful, and forgiving. This generation of new lightworkers, roughly ages 0 through 7, are like no previous generation. Ideal in many ways, they are the pointers for where humanity is headed, and it's a good direction. The older children, approximately age 7 through 25, called the Indigo Children. Now, I think this article may be a few years old because the Indigo Children, they have been coming into this earth plane for the last 100 years or so. However, there was a large influx of them in the 70s and 80s, and the Indigo Children were being born all the way up until about the year 2000, and around the year 2000 is when the crystals started coming in. So, the Indigos share some characteristics with the Crystal Children. Both generations are highly sensitive and psychic and have important life purposes. The main difference is their temperament. Indigos have a warrior spirit, and other people have even said that they have a downright chip on their shoulder. Because their collective purpose is to mash down old systems that no longer serve us, the Indigos are here to quash government, educational, and legal systems that lack integrity. To accomplish this end, they need tempers and fiery determination. Those adults who resist change and who value conformity may misunderstand the Indigos. They're often mislabeled with psychiatric diagnoses of attention deficit with hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, or attention deficit disorder, ADD. Sadly, when they are medicated, the Indigos often lose their beautiful sensitivity, spiritual gifts, and warrior energy. In contrast, the Crystal Children are blissful and even-tempered. Sure, they may have tantrums occasionally, but these children are largely forgiving and easygoing. The Crystals are the generation who benefit from the Indigos' trailblazing. First, the Indigo Children lead with a machete, cutting down anything that lacks integrity. Then, the Crystal Children follow the cleared path into a safer and more secure world. The terms Indigo and Crystal were given to these two generations because they most accurately describe their aura colors and energy patterns. Indigo children have a lot of indigo blue in their auras. This color is the color of the third eye chakra, which is the energy center inside of the head located between the two eyebrows. This chakra regulates clairvoyance, or the ability to see energy, visions, and spirits. Many of the Indigo children are clairvoyant. The Crystal Children have opalescent auras, with beautiful multicolors and pastel hues. This generation also shows a fascination for crystals and rocks. Indigo children can sense dishonesty like a dog can sense fear. Indigos know when they're being lied to, patronized, or manipulated, and since their collective purpose is to usher us into a new world of integrity, the Indigos' inner lie detectors are integral. As mentioned before, this warrior spirit is threatening to some adults, and the Indigos are unable to conform to dysfunctional situations at home, work, or school. They don't have the ability to disassociate from their feelings and pretend like everything's okay unless they are medicated or sedated. I find this highly true. I've had issues in school, work, cheerleading, any kind of, established organization ever since I can remember, because I'm so honest and I have to tell people how I feel, and I have to address issues and problems when they come up. And a lot of these systems, they just do not like it when you go against the grain. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of people out there who cannot handle people who are confident and who are secure in their own skin. And unfortunately, because there's so many, people out there who lack confidence and self-esteem, they're going to attack those people who do, because, they're jealous. They can't handle people like that. Crystal children's innate spiritual gifts are also misunderstood, specifically their telepathic abilities, which will lead them to talk later in life. In the new world, which the Indigos are ushering in, We will all be much more aware of our intuitive thoughts and feelings. We won't rely so much upon the spoken or written word. Communication will be faster, more direct, and more honest because it will be mind to mind. Already, increasing numbers of us are getting in touch with our psychic abilities. Our interest in the paranormal is at an all-time high, accompanied by books, television shows, and movies on the topic. So it's not surprising that the generation following the Indigos are incredibly telepathic. Many of the Crystal Children have delayed speech patterns, and it's not uncommon for them to wait until they're 3 or 4 years old to begin speaking. But parents do say that they have no trouble communicating with their silent children. Far from it. The parents engage in mind-to-mind communication with their crystal children, and the crystals use a combination of telepathy, self-fashioned sign language, and sounds, including song, to get their point across. The trouble comes about when the crystals are judged by medical and educational personnel as having abnormal speaking patterns. It's no coincidence that as the number of crystals are born, that the number of diagnoses for autism is at a record high. It's true that the Crystal Children are different from other generations, but why do we need to pathologize these differences? If the children are successfully communicating at home and the parents aren't reporting any problems, then why try to make a problem? The diagnostic criteria for autism is quite clear. It states that the autistic person lives in his or her own world and is disconnected with other people. Well, I guess I have autism too because I was like that when I was a child, and I still live in my own little world. The autistic person doesn't talk because of an indifference to communicating with others. Crystal children are quite the opposite. They are among the most connective, communicative, caring, and cuddly of any generation. They are also quite philosophical and spiritually gifted. And they display an unprecedented level of kindness and sensitivity to this world. Crystal children spontaneously hug and care for people in need. An autistic person would not do that. In Doreen Virtue's book, The Care and Feeding of Indigo Children, she writes that ADHD should stand for attention dialed into a higher dimension. This would more accurately describe that generation. In the same vein, crystal children don't warrant a label of autism. They aren't autistic, they're autistic. That's A-W-E-tistic. These children are worthy of all, not labels of dysfunction. If anyone is dysfunctional, it's the systems that aren't accommodating the continuing evolution of the human species. If we shame the children with labels or medicate them into submission, we will have undermined a heaven-sent gift. We will crush a civilization before it's had time to take roots. Fortunately, there are many positive solutions and alternatives, and the same heaven that sent us the crystal children can assist those of us who are advocates for the children. I hope this excerpt was helpful. Just to add another quick comment, Jessica Schaub, also called Jessica Mystic, who was interviewed by Project Camelot, and she actually has her own YouTube channel as well. She actually talks about how the Indigo children can actually turn into crystal children. So I thought that was interesting. I've noticed in myself, and I don't know if this is maybe just a self-perceived thing, but I've noticed my eyes changing lately. My eyes were always very small, and people always thought I was either high or Chinese. I am neither. But I've noticed my eyes are getting a little bigger, and they've actually changed color. I don't know if the color is significant, but I mean, to me, it's odd that they change color. I mean, they're significantly different in color. They used to be blue, and now they're actually more of a green, sometimes with yellow in them. So I don't know if that has anything to do with turning into a crystal child, but maybe it does. I hope this was helpful. As always, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching.